All right, so recently I put out a video of my principles to live by, how to be happy, how to be fulfilled. And I did break down every single one, but I wanted to dig a little bit deeper just to give more thoughts and to break it down a little bit more. So I'm going to go one by one. First one is crush negativity. Now, again, like I mentioned in the original video, they are in no particular order, but if I'm being honest, this probably is one of the top 3 to 5 ones that you need to do because you really can't get anywhere in life if you're overly negative. I mean, how many people that are at the top of their profession are overly negative? Like virtually none. So this is something you have to deal with. And speaking of people who are at the top of their profession, this is something that they deal with, most of them at least, as well. So the next most important thing is you have to be very, no, you don't have to be good. You just have to realize that this is something that most people face, and even people that are at the top, right? So if you want to make more money, you take the person, like you take you're a salesperson, you're making $100,000 a year. I guarantee you there's salespeople making $10 million a year that still feel like they're not making enough. There's people that are, professionals, like professional hockey players that still feel like they're not good enough. Professional bodybuilders still feel like they don't look good enough. So this is something that everybody deals with. So that's the next thing to keep in mind. The next important thing is you need to develop a strategy to deal with it. And that's going to be different with everybody, right? Because some things don't work for some people and other things work for other people, right? So my opinion, again, obviously everything here, my opinion, is try different things, right? And look at how other people overcome problems, right? This is one of the most underrated aspects of becoming successful in anything is simply look at how other people became successful. Again, if you want to get in shape, look at how other people got in shape. If you want to become a better salesperson, look at what are the top salespeople? What are their secrets, right? So look at people who have accomplished what you've accomplished and take their advice. And if it doesn't work, find someone else. Eventually, you'll find someone that is suggesting something that will work, right? So again, when it comes to negativity, um, in my opinion, number one, the most important thing is learning that it's never going to go away. It's always going to be there, doesn't matter. The next most important thing is I think you need to control who you're around the most. I think the biggest problem that most people face is that they're not around the best kinds of people, right? And I'm not saying you need to completely cut people out. Maybe that's the case. But you need to be around positive people. Now, that's not people who just blindly pat you on the back all the time, right? But you need to be around positive people because if you're in a bad environment, again, that's something that almost always will keep you from being successful, right? Again, the old classic saying, you're the average of the 5 people you spend time around with, right? And if those people are overly negative, you're going to be overly negative, right? So that's something you really need to control. And on top of that, again, you need to deal with the what are the triggers that bring it on, right? Is it things not going your way, right? So if it's I wanted to achieve X and you didn't achieve X, well, what did you do wrong? You need to learn to pivot, to reevaluate, right? And another important thing I think is maybe you need to change completely, right? Maybe you need to change completely. You reevaluate and say, do I really want to accomplish this still? And again, reevaluate and say, was it realistic to achieve this? Again, there's so many aspects of this that I think that you can cover. It would take too long for me to go over it. But again, I think to recap, the most important thing I think is realizing that it's never going to go away. And the next most important thing is spending time around the right people. Even if you are average as can be at pretty much anything, if you spend time around the right people, you will improve drastically with very little effort, right? Very little effort, right? I mean, if you took a beer league hockey player and you put him in the NHL and you put him on a line with McDavid, for an entire season, I guarantee you that if there would be a drastic difference between the start of the year and the end of the year, right? and nothing about them changed. Let's just say they practice the same amount, they do everything outside at the same amount, right? Again, if you want to get in better shape and you start spending more time around people that are in very good shape, right? That's one of the keys to success that is very underrated. So anyway, that's what I wanted to talk about today. I'm going to keep it nice and short. So if you like the video, hit that like and subscribe and stay tuned for more.